Okay, this is the generic Autobot laser pistol. So far, just Sintra being built up, the main body. I'm hoping that I can get this and this to glow if I fill it with resin and then backlight it. This is the grip. It's going to be an amalgamation of a couple of the different versions. Actually, I've only seen like 2 versions, the Bumblebee and then the Ironhide version. So this will take a little bit of both. And this is the cover. Right now the switch, or the trigger, the way I have it planned out is that it's a on-off, on latching, momentary. That way I can have this as the off mode, powered on, and then trigger, so I don't have to have like a kill key or anything like that. This is here, and I'm hoping to put the recharge port in there. Still don't know how I'm going to do the muzzle, and then this cover should go on like, you know, this is gonna have a blaster core in it, so I'll have the battery in the grip probably. The blaster core will be inside the main body somewhere. I don't know how to access it yet. There's still a lot of things that I don't really have a good plan for, so this is just preliminarily how everything's kind of coming together. It's just the first day, still playing with some of the format, so blah blah blah. Hopefully it'll get better. Okay, so I had to finish it before I could really get everything aligned. I still haven't decided how I'm going to secure the side cover yet, if I want to use screws or if I just want to glue it all in place and keep it like that. I was able to hack the switch so that it works as a on-off on. No, it works on an on-on. How does that work? Off-on-on. It works as an off-on-on. So that in this position it's off, this is on, and then the momentary on is, hey, shoot it. And then you turn it off like that. The LED is an RGBA that I cannibalized from my Play Along Star Killer. That was hard to do, but kind of had to be done. The board is pretty much right in the middle here. This is the battery. Yeah, come on. Oh, it's in backwards. Okay. Anyway, but that's where it would go in. It works. So now I have to brain out how I'm going to attach that, and then from there, then I can even out all the sides, paint it, do the panel lines, etc., etc. But otherwise, that's how it looks. Here's the inside. I realize I don't record the insides of the guts very often, but that's what it looks like. Yes, 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 I know it's a mess, but it's going to be covered up anyway, so. And that's the lower volume setting. Okay, so a little background on the generic Autobot laser pistol. This is something I just discovered was a thing. I just recognized this from the TV show and from the figures and stuff, but I always remembered it because of the distinctive emitter body transition right here, how it kind of V's out and stuff, but that was always memorable to me. And I wanted to make this one, so I figured I'll start researching it, and that's when I found out the whole generic Autobot laser pistol thing came into being. And basically what that is that after a while, the animators decided they just didn't want to create a whole bunch of different models for Autobot guns and stuff, which makes sense. So they just subbed in this version, or at least a version of this, and gave it to pretty much any Autobot that needed a gun in any particular episode. Strangely, I already made kind of a version of it before, either unconsciously or subconsciously. I remembered it, I don't know, but I like this side better. This is the better side. The body is a little bit elongated on the back here. That was partially on purpose just so I could fit everything. If I had my druthers, I would have put the aux button back here and then the recharge port down here, but the way it played out ended up being like this, and now there's a big hole on the side of it that I can't really fill, so that's fine. The emitter, I basically scaled it off of the Prowl Blue Streak, so it's generally about the same size, but I liked that little slit right there. So this is just some 1-inch polycarbonate. There's a ring right here, and basically it just filled in with epoxy putty and then sanded so that it's nice and smooth. And then there's another scrap of 3/4 inch blade with some polypropylene film in here to capture a lot of that light. There was a lot of light leakage, particularly from the main LED. But it's sealed up pretty tight now. The sides don't match. the panel lines and the grips are different on either side and stuff. I mean, generally the same, but different enough so that it looks like it could possibly be a different pistol from either side. I actually have two different settings because the original, full volume is just a little too much. That's the lower volume. It's very loud. Like uncomfortably loud. So if I was at a con, that would probably be sufficient, but I'm at home and I'm the only one here, so it's a little too much. Speaking of a little too much, that back window, it's really bright and it's overexposing. That's just because there's 4 strips of cob in there. All the rest of it is just one strip. That's actually just a single emitter LED, but yeah, that's a little much. I was thinking about putting some tape over it for the demo, but it's bright, so you may as well show it off a little bit. So the resonator was some thick wall polycarbonate, but it was clear, and it picked up some of the side lighting and stuff like that, so I just sort of left it because honestly it looks cool. The finish is just a Rust-Oleum 2X, and I kind of wanted to match this one again, just so it would look in universe, but I could probably stand to go through and give it another dark wash just to bring the value down a little bit more. I wanted a little bit of the black in there so that it could, again, fill in a little bit more, but I was debating on where I wanted to, like maybe up here and down here and stuff, but I kind of like the panel lines and how that looks. I might actually go back and paint those in just to keep it in universe with the other one. Plus, it kind of adds a little bit more visual variety. But at the same time, I mean, there's panel lines too, which kind of does the same thing, so. I forgot where I got the sound effects, but it's pretty consistent as far as Autobot versus Decepticon lasers. That's very specifically Autobot. Also very specifically Decepticon. So I just kept it simple with those two. And I guess that's about all I have to say about it. That's the generic Autobot laser pistol.
What's that? A tickle torture?